Hello friends, in this tutorial I will teach you how I light using HDRI images. First we must find our HDRI map. Head over to polyhaven.com and select HDRI. I picked the Sprue It Sunrise HDRI and downloaded the 2K HDR version. Now we head over to Blender. I'm currently using version 3.1. I have a character here already, downloaded from Mixamo, and everything else was deleted. Make sure your render setting is set to rendered mode, and that it is set to cycles for best results. Now go to shading at the top. And make sure once again that the shading mode is set to rendered. Now go to Object at the bottom and select World. Now go to Add, Texture, Environment Texture. Delete the background node and add the environment texture node to the surface node. Now go to Open and find your HDR image. You should be seeing the effects of the HDRI image. Now to rotate the HDRI. Go to Add, Vector, Mapping, and connect vector to vector. Now when you do this, the HDRI will disappear. You now need to go to Add, Input, Texture Coordinate. Connect Generated to Vector. Now you can rotate the HDRI image. Now click on Layout to return to the main screen. Now you can see the front of the character is overexposed. You could rotate the HDRI map, or you could do what I usually do, is to create a plane, click Add, Mesh, Plane. Place the plane in front of the character. As you can see, the plane has a shadow over the character. Then click on Material Properties on the right and click on Add New Material. Scroll down to Alpha. By reducing the strength of the alpha, you can control how much light hits the character. It is what in the film industry is called a diffuse. To make sure it doesn't render, click on the Object Properties, Visibility, and deselect Camera. Now on to 3D Studio Max. Here is the same character downloaded from Mixamo. I use the Arnold render system. So go to Render Setup and make sure it is set to Arnold. Then go to Active Shade Mode. Set it to Arnold Render and click Render to see the screen update in real time. Now go to Rendering, Environment, and click on Environment Map. Select Bitmap. Find your HDRI map and click OK twice. To rotate the HDRI map, open the Material Editor. Then back to rendering environment. Drag the map to the material editor and select Instance. Click on the map and coordinates come up. Now select U or V to rotate the HDRI map vertically or horizontally. And, like in Blender, you can see that the character is overexposed. Now to fix it, create a plane by going to Standard Primitives on the right and select Plane and drag it to the viewport and place it in front of the character. As you can see, the plane is casting a shadow over the character. Now go to Material Editor. Go to Arnold, Surface, and choose Standard Surface and drag it to the view. Double-click to activate the parameters and lower the specular to 0. Now click and drag to the plane to apply the Arnold texture to it. Finally, back in the Material Editor view, scroll down to Opacity and change the color. The darker it is, the more transparent it becomes. Set to a color that you think is best and click OK. The final step is to make sure the plane doesn't render. Make sure the plane is selected, then click on Modifier List and select Arnold. Go to General Properties, click on Visibility and deselect Camera. This will keep all the parameters of the plane without a rendering on your final image. And here's a real-world example of using an HDRI to light a shot in 3D Studio Max. This is for my upcoming short film and book, The Lion and the Mouse. As you can see here, it is lit with only an HDRI, the same one used in the tutorial. And here's the plane used as the fuse. And here is the final shot, composited in After Effects with proper color correction, lens flare, and rim lights added. And that is how I work with HDRI images in both Blender and 3D Studio Max. If you like this tutorial, please subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and there's more content coming your way.